Hello, my dear listeners. Welcome to the Healing Station. Here at the Healing Station, we get healed. We get healed from diseases, physical. We get healed financial. We get healed emotional. We get healed mental. So whatever issue we are having, we get our healing here at the Healing Station. Psalm 68:13. Though you may lie among the pots, yet shall you be as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. We're talking about three scenarios here. We're talking about three scenarios, three levels. The lowest level being lying among the pots, uncomfortable, unpleasant, and sometimes death. Then we enter into silver. We begin to enjoy wealth and comfort. Then we enter into gold. Excuse me. Then we enter into gold and we enjoy wealth, very high level. We enjoy power, very high level, and we enjoy exponential growth. Joseph. We're talking about Joseph today. So Joseph was loved by the father, very much loved. And the father had made for him this coat of many colors. One day the father sent him to the field to take food to his brothers. The brothers saw him from a distance and they said, "Here comes the dreamer." They hated him. They hated him because his father loved him so much. And they hated him because he had had this dream where he was saying that he was going to be superior to them and one day they would bow before him. So they saw him approach and they said, "Here comes the dreamer, and today we're killing him." So they put Joseph into the pit. They wanted to kill him, to leave him there. But Judah intervened and said, "Why don't we sell him instead?" So they sold him to this caravan of the Ishmaelites who were heading down to Egypt. They sold him as a slave boy. They took the coat of many colors, poured blood on it, shredded it a little. They presented it before Jacob and told Jacob, "Sorry, sir, your son has passed. He's been killed by a wild animal." And Jacob began to cry and mourn for his son. While Jacob was mourning for a son who was still alive, Joseph had already entered Egypt into Potiphar's household and was already settling there. And he was already entering and was stepping into the silver level. He was beginning to experience prosperity already. So that everything he did, he found that it flourished, and everything he did, he found that he became prosperous, and Potiphar became prosperous as well. In fact, Potiphar realized wealth that he had never realized before. He realized increase of wealth that he had never experienced before. And he knew that it was because of Joseph. So he sat back and relaxed and enjoyed the increase. While Potiphar was having a good time enjoying, remember, silver level, the prosperity that we enjoy at the silver level is contagious. That's why you find Joseph being there already meant that Potiphar was enjoying the wealth as well. So it's not just only ourselves growing more and more. Uh, we are not just growing richer and richer ourselves alone, but the people around us also begin to experience a prosperity. But one day something went wrong, and Potiphar's wife started to like Joseph. But Joseph said no. He resisted the temptation, and he took off, leaving his jacket behind. This is the second time Joseph has left his jacket behind. Or this is the second time he's losing his jacket, his coat. So Joseph found himself in prison because Potiphar believed the lie that his wife told. So Joseph found himself in prison. But even in prison, he continued to experience silver prosperity. And he was the initiator of all the things that took place in prison. He was the initiator and he was the implementer of all the things that took place there. Initiating, implementing, initiating, implementing. He was the doer of all things. He was the superintendent. And he interpreted the dream for the baker and the butler. One day, 13 years later, he found himself stepping into yellow gold. Suddenly, he stepped into yellow gold. Pharaoh had had a dream that disturbed him, and he needed to hear the interpretation of the dream. And Joseph stood before Pharaoh, changed his garment, changed his raiment, and shaved his beard. Because when you stand before greatness, you have to be presentable, you have to be sharp. And he told Pharaoh, "Mr. Pharaoh, sir, the cows that you saw, they indicate 7 years of plenty, they indicate 7 years of famine. The And I already have a solution concerning this situation, and I'm saying we can mitigate this situation this way. We can collect as much food as we can during the years of plenty, so that and store it so that in the years of famine we have plenty and we are able to sell. And Pharaoh was delighted and he said, "Yes, this is a very brilliant idea, and you are the man for the job." And he gave him the job. He put his ring in his finger, gave him the cheska, gave him another name, and he got married to a lady called Asenath. Joseph had entered into yellow gold suddenly. Exponential wealth, exponential growth, loss of wealth, and power, loss of power. His brothers came down to Egypt to buy food. He introduced himself to them. You see, there was no way they could tell that it was him because he was becoming like an Egyptian, dressing like an Egyptian, talking like an Egyptian, even the name an Egyptian name. So he had to tell his brothers, "This is me. This is your brother Joseph, whom you sold." Then he told them, Go tell my father about all my glory that you have seen here in Egypt, and bring him here quickly with all your family, with all the household, because this famine is going to last another several years. And you're going to dwell in the best lands. I'll accommodate you in the best lands. So Jacob came, and Jacob was delighted to find that his son had never died after all. If anything, he had become the strongest man next to Pharaoh, the strongest and the most powerful man next to Pharaoh here in Egypt. And Jacob had a chat with Pharaoh, just a good chat. Oh, who are you? How are you? How old are you? Etc. etc. And they dwelt in the best land. And Pharaoh said, he told Joseph, select for me a few of your relatives who can also manage my cattle for me, because they had said that they are cattlemen, that their livelihood was taking care of cattle. Now, let me take you back a little bit to Simon and Levi, the sons of Jacob. One day, Simon and Levi stormed into the city of Shechem and slay all the men. Why were they slaying all the men? They were defending the honor of their sister Dinah, because the prince had laid with their sister Dinah. Although the prince had good intentions and they said, "I want to marry your sister, I want to marry your sister," they still slew him anyway, and they slew all the men anyway. They said, "Dinah is not just a woman, just like any other woman. She's not your average girl. She's the daughter of a prince." Why were they saying that Dinah is the daughter of a prince? Because Jacob, when he was wrestling with Jesus, had been labeled, Jesus himself had labeled him prince. He had said, you as a prince, you have power with God and with man. You have power with God and with man, and you have prevailed. You have prevailed. So they took all the wealth of the city of Shechem, and they took captive the little ones, and they took captive the ladies. And these ladies and the little ones, the Shechem widows and the little Shechem children, became part of the household for Jacob. So when Joseph is inviting them to come down to Egypt, he's talking about a big population that includes Shechem daughters and Shechem sons, and Shechem widows. It is a big population. And he says, "I'll nourish you there in the best lands." You see, when you get to the yellow level, you have the yellow gold level, you have so much prosperity, so much power, and you impact, and and so much wealth, and you're able to feed families, lots of families, and you make them to dwell in the best land. They live in the best land, they live the best life, and you take care of them, and it doesn't bother you one bit. The more you help them, the more you support them, the more you nourish them, the more you increase, the more you increase. That was what was happening with Joseph here. But you see, Joseph would never have realized this kind of wealth if he had slept with Potiphar's wife. Because in the yellow gold level, you have to maintain a certain level of integrity. You must stay away from sin. You must live a sinless life. You must live a life beyond reproach, above reproach. And you must stay away from sin. So God trusted Joseph with this kind of wealth and this kind of power and this kind of responsibility because Joseph had stayed away from sexual sin. It happens for the same to us also. If we are able to enter a level of integrity so high, and if we're able to live a life of above reproach, and if we're able to live a sinless life, God will surely trust us with wealth, with exponential growth, with wealth, with power. And we shall be able to help others. And as we help them, we increase. As we help them, we increase. And they will live the people that we're helping will live in the best land and have the best life. So thank you very much, my dear listeners. Welcome again. Till we meet again at the healing station, kindly share, subscribe, comment, and like. Thank you so much. Until we meet again at the healing station. Bye bye. God bless you.